G'day, welcome back to the 40 channel. So today we're going to have a quick tip. Let's jump in and see what it is. It's the door handle. Now if you haven't had this problem, I'm sure you will at one stage. You go to open the door, you know it's locked, and it snaps the componentry inside. So let's have a quick look at how to replace that door handle and get this back on the road so you don't have to climb through the passenger side. Righto, when it comes to door handles, you have two options. You can still buy your genuine door handle, but these are very expensive. But I'm not going to throw the original ones on Minty because Minty is an aftermarket, cheap, keep it on the road vehicle. These are going to be kept for the LX, so it'll be the premium build. That's what they're for. What's the big difference between the genuine Toyota door handle and your aftermarket door handle? Well, besides price, these are about $135 and will probably last you another 15 to 20 years. But if you don't have that type of cash, especially if you're replacing both, for as little as $15 Australian, you can pick one of these up. Now I've bought these from All 4x4. Both these units can be bought by All 4x4. These are a great budget option to get your car straight back on the road without breaking the bank. So we're going to go the non-genuine market ones for Minty because Minty's pretty much everything aftermarket, and we want to keep it back on the road as quick as possible and keep all the genuine parts for the LX build, which is still some time off. But anyhow, what's the difference? Well, let's have a quick comparison between the aftermarket and the genuine and see if you can pick the difference. Righto, so let's have a look at the aftermarket one. It looks nice and shiny, it looks the goods. The biggest problem with the aftermarket ones is they seem to break just in here, right on this little molded area here. Let's have a look at the genuine one. Right, the genuine door handle from Toyota. They still make these, still relatively available pretty much anywhere in the world. Righto, you can't really tell the difference from the outside. They both look nice and shiny. You can see the big difference here is the genuine ones. This is made out of a gown material. That's good, it's not going to rust. The spring is different. You can see the spring's different. The genuine one also has this plastic seal already on it. The recessed nuts, little rubber grommet here. It also has your ridges right here so that it grabs better on the door handle. And this is the part that seems to always break right here. The genuine one look almost identical to the aftermarket one, but obviously the aftermarket one is a little bit weaker because that's where they seem to break. The aftermarket one doesn't come with the new rubber, so you can pull the rubber off the old one if you've got it, just to put into there. It doesn't have the recessed thread. It's not a big deal. You can still screw the nuts on. The spring looks a little bit different. Again, it's not a big deal because the spring still has the same actions. It still does the same job. It looks, for all purposes, for $15 like an absolute fantastic unit when compared to the genuine one. But it may not last as long. And if you're doing a genuine build, that's the one you want to go for. But like I said, that's going to go with the LX. We're going to throw the aftermarket one on right now. But for the sake of $15 compared to, well, nearly $135, that's 9 of these you can buy for every one of these. So you've really got to look at whether you really want a genuine build or whether you're just keeping your car on the road, which we are for Minty. So let's go chuck the aftermarket one on and show you how quick and easy it can be done. So the first thing you got to do is remove your door card. Now, whether you've got an aftermarket door card or a genuine door card, work out how they pop off. Aftermarket, we've got these little pop-off units. For a genuine one, you just got to get your hands in nice and gently and pop and work all the way around, and the door card will pop off. But before you do that, you've got to remove your window winder. You've just got a little clip in here, small screwdriver will pop that off, make sure you don't lose it. Your internal door handles, just got a Phillips head screwdriver, pop that off. And your grab for your door handle, again, this is aftermarket, but the same, exactly the same point, you're just going to have 2 screws straight in here. Righto, as I said, the genuine one is exactly the same, except your door card, well, this one's an LX one, so it's brown, it looks pretty fantastic. Your 2 screws, your window handle, 1 screw here, pull them off, and then your whole door card, you just work behind it really, really carefully and just pry it and it'll just pop straight out. And that's it. Let's rip the door cards off, the handles off, and replace that door handle. Righto, now the door card's off, make sure the window's up, you have full access right here to your door handle. And all it is 3 nuts, M10, undo it, and we can pull that door handle off. For this one here, we've got this hole right here, we can go straight through it. Toyota were thinking when they gave us that option. Makes life so much easier. Righto, so we remove this window felt guide here. It's going to make it a lot easier for setting it up and installing the new handle. So let's pull that off. All that is 1 bolt down the bottom here. Pull it straight down. There it is. So that's all it is. It just, so this top part here clips on the top, so just give it a pull straight down and it'll pull straight out. Now we have full access to our door handle, making it a lot easier to pull out and set up. Righto, so now you can see we've got access to this bolt and these 2 nuts. Trick is we don't want to drop this bolt, small little bolt. Our 2 nuts. Once they're loose, you should be able to get them with your hand. Righto, so there it is. There's our busted door handle. It's actually not broken at all, this one. It's the pin, this pin here that's come out. So the main shaft, the pin that everything runs on, has actually come out of the hole. So this one is actually not broken at all. The pin's just slid back, so there you go. So that one can actually be saved. There goes the pin. There it is. Righto, so I haven't actually seen this before. Normally they break right where I showed you before, but it's actually the pin that has slid straight out and the whole mechanism has fallen apart. So this aftermarket one can actually be saved. For the sake of mucking around, we're just going to throw the other one straight on. Righto, one thing I have noticed with my new aftermarket to the old aftermarket is the old aftermarket actually had these grooves put into it. And that's what they've pretty much all had. This one didn't have them, it was smooth. All I've done is just run a grinder very lightly straight over this just to give it a little bit of grip, because we need that grip for when we bolt it up so it can grab hold of it. So if it doesn't have them, just cut it in with a file or a very light angle grinder just to put some grooves, just to give it some grab. No big deal. So your tab facing up, your 2 bolt holes obviously go straight through here and your tab goes straight through here. So let's line all of that up. Just like that. Then we can throw the nuts on the back. Just going to throw our 2 nuts on. Unfortunately the camera's in the way. This is what makes things difficult when I try to film these things for you guys. Right, the trick is not to do any of those nuts up tight. We only want to do everything up finger tight for the moment, because we actually need to adjust where this plate joins onto our main mechanism for the front of the door handle so that we can open this and close. If you do it all up tight and you close it, a couple of things will happen. It won't operate the mechanism correctly, or the door handle will actually stay up and you have to keep popping it down. I've had that a couple of times too, and just readjust. So this is our adjustment just in here. Right, so you can just see my fingers in the way here. See that there? That's what we want to play around with our adjustment for our locking mechanism, so that all this works correctly. Very difficult to film and do up at the same time because you don't have much space here, but do it all up and you just might need to adjust this up and down until your door handle works correctly. So let's get that done. Righto, we've done it up just in the rest position and I'll show you exactly what happens here. So closing the lock mechanism just with your fingers to pull the door handle, and it's not opening. It's not enough to push it down. This is where we need to start making this adjustment up and down until we get it correct. When you're doing it, just put a screwdriver in here, put a little tiny bit of pressure on here as if you're opening the door, and that's how it should pop open. Hold it in position and then get it done up. Let's try that one now. Look at that. Oh, righto, so that's it. The door handle is fixed. So it took a little bit of adjusting. So make sure you're adjusting these two. Try to bring it all the way down so it's in its lowest position. And then you can start adjusting this up and down. You can actually see mine's about a quarter of the way down on this one. But I've seen them where they're nearly all the way down and nearly all the way up. So just play around with this until you get it just right. Now this one, they're all just a fraction different to how they adjust because of how they fit on the door. Holes might be worn a little bit, guides might be worn out, bushes are worn out. So just take that little bit of time and adjust it, and you're adjusting all three different points. So the two nuts that go into the end of the bolts on the actual door handle, you might need to loosen them, straighten that door handle backwards and forwards, but the main one is this actuator lever that runs the locking mechanism. Anyway, let's put all this back together and then we can get out of here. Righto, so put our window track back in. You'll see it slides straight up on the top there. Righto, then your door card. Now, if you have that waterproof membrane or you want to put that piece of sheet there to stop that waterproofing come through, make sure you put all that on. You can put new tar or silicone or whatever you want on there, but this is bush ready, this one. But it's all the same process, you know what I mean. A pull grab on. Righto, your window winder with your little clip. Pop your clip on first. Once that clip's on, all you need to do is line that up. Pop that on, done. Wet your handle, slide that over, put that in place, screw that in. Make sure everything works before you pack your tools away. Make sure that your winder's up and down, there's nothing interfering with that, and that everything still works properly. Happy days. Righto guys, that is it. So simple, nice and quick, and it saves a lot of problems. So there you go. So whether you go a genuine one or an aftermarket one, the process is exactly the same. Same with the door card, it just pops off and just pop it back on with your genuine ones, and you're back on the road without having to have the embarrassment of crawling through one of the other sides to undo the other door. Righto guys, that's it for this episode. Again, thank you so much for your support, and until next time, thanks for watching.